Okay. So in the last session, we have seen the Git mapping. In this session, we'll be seeing the update and delete mapping as well. And in the last session, we have retrieved the employee details from the database. Okay, so we have tested it and we got the details from the DB. Okay, and we have integrated the service layer as well. So before we were using the employee repository in the controller level. Now we have like added the service layer to the repository. In the service layer, we are adding the we are like adding the integrating the employee repository layer. And then from the employee repository layer, we are using the JPA to connect with the we are to connect with the database. Okay. So that's what we have done in this current session. What we will do is we will be updating the employee details. So based on the ID. Okay. And before that, what I'll do is I'll write one more program to one more method for get mapping. So this time this time what I'll do is I'll get the employee details based on the employee name. Okay. So if I use employee name, I should get the employee related details now. Okay. After completing that, we will be going for the update. Then we will be seeing the delete as well. Okay. So yeah, the intention of writing the one more get mapping is that I want to explain the finder methods actually. Okay. So let me write the code. Let me explain through the code itself. So let me go to the employee controller. So I want to add one more method over here. So I want to get the employee details based on the name, employee name. So I'll be writing get, I'll be writing a method called get employee details by name. So get employee details by name. So again, I will be reading the employee name in a path. So I'll say I'll be using the path variable. So employee name is a string, right? So I'll be using a string employee name. And this is a path variable. Path variable. Path variable. And this method will return the employee details. Fine. This method will return the employee details, and this is the public method. And this is also a get mapping. We are getting the employee details. We are sending the request for the getting the employee details, right? So we are writing get mapping. So employee slash will be here. Before we were reusing the reading the employee ID. Now we want to fetch the details based on the employee name, right? I'll say employee name. Okay, this name and this name should be equal. Otherwise, you'll get an exception. Okay, so as of now, what I'll do is I'll return null for this employee. Let me jump to the employee services interface. There we'll add a abstract method. Okay, public employee. I'll get the employee, or I'll use retrieve, because see why I am using the different method over here is, see, if I use the retrieve employee as well, but there is a confusion between this and that method. So that's why I'm giving the different naming conventions for the methods which are which I'm like writing it. Okay. So otherwise you can give the same names, but you'll get confused actually between them. So retrieve employee det, retrieve employee details. So here I'll be passing the employee name. Be passing the employee name. The moment you save, it will be throwing an exception over here in your employee services. It is asking you to add the unimplemented method. Okay, we are adding the unimplemented method. We want to provide the implementation over here. Now, now I want to retrieve the employee details based on the employee name. So over here, if you can see over here, you have the finder methods. So we used to solve in industry, we used to call it as these are the finder methods. So finder methods are very helpful. So before we are like before finder methods came, what we developers used to do is we used to write the queries. Okay, we used to write the JPA queries. we need to, if not JPA queries, we used to write the SQL queries. So it is hard for the developer to concentrate on learn the queries as well. So what they did is they have they have managed everything. So they are constructing the query for you internally. So using the finder methods. So what the only thing what they say is, so if you want to fetch, if you want to find the employee details, if you want to find the anything, if you want to find anything, you have to use finder methods. So for example, I want to get the employee name. I want to get the details of employee based on the employee name. I'll say find by, up to here it is common. What you want to do for based on what you want to fetch it. So if it is a employee name, add employee name. If it is a contact number, add a contact number. If it is a salary, add a salary. Something like that. Let me write it over here. Finder methods of JPA. Finder methods of JPA. So finder methods are will be used to find the without using the query, we will be using these finder methods to fetch the details of object of any object. It could be employee object, it could be product object, it could be item object, it could be any object. We can easily fetch it without writing any single query. The only thing is that if you want to fetch anything, so you have to add find by, and what you want to fetch. So based on what property you want to fetch, based on what variable you want to fetch. For example, I want to fetch based on the employee name. So I'll write the employee name. Here I have to provide the property name or variable name. Variable name, or I can say that param name, I can say param name. So for example, I want to find the employee based on the employee name. Find by emp name. First letter should be capital when you are writing the method. First letter when you are writing the finder method, the param, when you are including the param name, the first letter should be capital and the remaining would be small. Okay. And the remaining would be it all depends on, like, we will be following the Hungarian notations, right? Here also we need to follow the Hungarian notations. Find is a this is a method, right? Find it will start with a small case, and if there is a new word we'll be adding, we will be using a camel case. Here also emp is a new word, right? So we will be using camel case. Name is also a new word. Okay, different word. Okay, we will be using camel case. Okay, so similarly, I want to find the employee details based on the salary. What I'll do? Find by emp salary. So emp salary only it is having. So whatever it is there, actually, whatever it is there in your employee class, then with that only you can able to fetch it. So let me go to the employee. So it is having the emp salary. Only salary it is having. Okay, let me add the salary. Instead of emp salary, I'll add the salary. Complete name, I'll add it salary. Okay, it is regarding to the employee. Let's say we have a product. Let's say we have a product class. The product class will be having the product ID, and it is having the product name. Let's say if it is having the quantity as well. Quantity as well. Quantity as well. Now, if you want to fetch the product details based on the product name, what you will do? What you will do? You will say, this is small case. What you will do? You will be using a finder method. Find by p name. Find by p name. Okay, so it will retrieve the product details. Okay, and if you want to fetch the product details based on the quantity, okay, so you can use it find by quantity. Okay, so these are very finder methods are very easy to write it. Okay, instead of writing the queries, you can use the finder methods and you can fetch the data. Okay, so let's jump to the topic now. Let's jump to the topic. Now here we are writing the a finder method to fetch the employee based on the employee name. So this is my employee name. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll say employee repository dot find by, what I'll do? I'll give employee name. In the brackets, what you have to do is what property it will take. So that property you have to add it for here. That's it, simple. And this will return. Yeah, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. I want to return it. So this method find by emp name, what it will do, it will return the employee. I'll say employee empl. So now I want to create this find by emp name. Find by emp name, it will not comes with the it will not comes with the JPA. So you are telling the JPA to create this one. So JPA will be creating this one and it will be internally constructing a query. We will see the query. I'll show the query in the console to you. Okay. So let me create this method inside the employee repository interface. So here we have created, right? You can see here we have created the abstract method find by emp, which is taking the employee name. So this is a, let me give it as a public to access this method. Okay, let me go to the employee services. Now I want to return this employee now. So I'll directly say empl. That's it. Semicolon. So now we are returning the employee. We are finding the employee based on the employee name and we are returning the employee details. Now let me go to the controller layer. Where it is employee controller. Employee controller. Here what you have to do, you have to call the method which we have created in service layer. Employee services dot get employee, sorry, retrieve employee details. You have to pass the employee name. To pass the employee name. Pass the employee name. And this retrieve employee, what it will do? It is returning the employee. You have to return the employee. Employee. And at last you have to return this employee to the postman. That's it. Easy, right? To write the finder methods. You can fetch the employee based using the finder methods without any issue. What is this? Write it. Let's see. Let's restart it. Let me run this one. Run as Spring Boot application. Okay. Uh-huh. What is this? Okay. We no property EMP name found in the employee. I have given the EMP name. So we check whether it is EMP name is there or not. No, it is not there. We have the column name as a EMP name, but not the, the property name. So we should give name only. So let me go to the employee repository. Let me give this name. Let me change it to the name. Instead of EMP name, I'll change it to the name. Let me go to the service layer as well. Instead of EMP name, we have to give just name. Now it will not throw any exception. Let me run the DevTools. DevTools is running, I think. Yeah. Let me run it once again. It stopped, right? It didn't use the DevTools actually. Once it start the server, then only it will use the DevTools and it will be, recompiling the code again. Okay. So it doesn't have any issue now. So the application is started. My bad. I only checked the column name. I haven't checked the property name. So property name is matter over here while writing the finder methods. Okay. So now let me go to the postman. Now what we used to do, we used to get the employee based on the employee name. Now let me based on the ID. Now let me pass the employee name. Let me pass the NSK. So now let's send the request. Now you'll be getting the NSK details. Ambiguous duplicate. Where it is duplicate, man. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, fine. So it is thinking that both are same. So here where it is employee controller. So here we have the same things, right? Get mapping, both it is there, right? So both are taking the same type of value. Should differentiate it. I don't know why it is not able to. It is throwing ambiguous. Let me comment this part. Okay. So let me run it once again. So it is successfully ran. Now let me send the request. Now you should get the employee related details. Okay. Fine. Got it. So you can fetch the employee based on the employee name as well. So you'll use the finder methods. You'll write the finder methods and you'll be fetching the employee details based on the employee name as well. Got it? So as I told you, I was like I told you that I'll show the query to you as well. So when we are writing the finder methods, you can able to see the query as well. So here is the query actually. Let me show the query clearly. Okay, so this is the query. Select employee ID, employee name, salary, from the table employee details table, where employee name equals to whatever the name we are passing in the parameter, it will be finder by name method parameter. It will be taking the employee name and it will be copying pasting into the place where the question mark symbol is there. Here it is there na. In this place it will be adding it. Okay, fine. So let me write the let me write one more method for updating the employee details. Okay, so now let's say let me add one more method, public uh, say employee. I want to return the employee. I'll say employee, update employee. I'll be taking the you can take the employee ID as well, no problem in it. So we'll be taking the employee ID. So let's say emp ID. Or you can take the name also, not a problem. String emp name. So you'll be taking the emp name, and what you will do is you'll be performing update. And this is a if you want to perform any update, we will be using a method mapping called put mapping. So put put mapping we will be using it. We will be updating the employee details. We'll be updating the things. Not only employee, you can update anything. Okay. So here we have an employee and we will be updating. We will be taking the okay, we don't need to pass anything over here. I'll do one thing. I'll read the request body over here because we need to pass the payload over here. Request body, and here we need to read the employee. Okay. So now I want to read the employee based on the employee name. No problem. I'll read it. So now let me go to the, as of now, let me return null. Let me go to the employee. This is the different one, right? This is the employee service simple. You need to add the method in the controller layer. My bad. When saying that I'm directly writing it without any. Okay, fine. So let me go to the employee services. In employee services, we'll be adding a method called public employee. It should return the employee details. I'll say update emp. So we'll be passing the employee details. Wait. Okay. It is similar to the post, but it's quite different actually. So you will be passing only the partial data over here. So let me go here and add an implement method. So now we have the employee details with us. Okay, we'll be getting the employee details. Now, first we have to check whether the employee is there or not. Okay, we'll be checking that employee dot find by. So you can directly call, you can call any one method. You can call any one method and you can pass the employee ID or employee name. So let me directly call get employee ID. I'll be passing employee or we can pass the employee name. No problem. Let me pass the employee name. Let me try with that employee name. Retrieve employee details. We'll be passing the employee name. I'll say employee. In employee, we'll be having the employee name. We'll be using the getter method. Employee name, employee.get name, and this will return the employee. This will return the employee. Okay. Otherwise, we will be writing one condition over here, if condition. If we have the employee details exist, we'll say this not equals to null. Then what we have to do is we have to update the employee. We'll say this. I'll take it a separate variable. Here I'll take it. Okay, I'll add it over here. I'll read the I'll take to a separate variable. Assign to separate variable. I'll say DB employee details. So in DB we have the employee details, right? If the DB stored employee details not equals to null, then what we have to do is whatever whatever we are getting from the postman, we have to add it to the here. So if it is, we have the details. Now what we are doing is we are going to update the details. So what we will do is we will be saying this. Okay. I will say employee repository dot. Okay. We got the details. Now we have to set the details to it. Okay. Now we'll say this employee repository dot save or update. We have update, not save only we have. Okay, so we'll be saving it and we will be adding the employee. We are just checking whether we have the employee details or not. So if we have the employee details, then only we are saving this employee. Otherwise, we are directly saying that the employee details are not exist, or we can directly throw an exception. Let me throw an exception over here. Otherwise, we'll throw an exception like throw. Let me copy this exception and throw it. I'll say no employee details found. No emp details found. No employee details found. Let me take off this one. Okay. No employee details found. So fine, right? So if we have an employee, we will be querying the retrieve employee details. We will be calling the retrieve employee details by passing the employee name, and it will fetch the employee. If the employee details are not null, okay, then we are saving the employee. We are saving the employee details. Yeah, fine. We can like say something like this. We can update it directly over here. We can save these details. So whatever the details we have db employee dot set employee ID. We have the we are not sending the employee ID, employee name. I'll get it from the employee dot get employee name. Now here we have db employee details dot set salary. We need to set it. So emp employee dot get, I'll say salary. So these details we need to set. Now at last we need to set this one, that one, this one we need to set it. Okay, so these are the details we are setting it, and we don't need to set the employee ID. Employee ID would be same. We only need to set the name and the salary. We want to change it. Okay, so now we have the update method. Okay, now let me go to the employee controller. Let me go to the employee controller. In the employee controller, we have already written a method called update employee. So we are uh, calling the service method, employee service method of update, and we will be passing the employee will be passing it, and this will return what? This will return the employee. This will return the employee. That's it. Fine. So this is a put mapping. Okay. So now let's go and test it. So for put, it is quite different actually. Let me copy this. Put. The put mapping will be expecting a body from you. Text JSON will be passing all the data over here. You don't need to pass the ID. You only need to pass the name and the salary. Okay. Based on this only, for example, I want to, okay. So yeah, fine. So I want to find the name NSK and I want to update the salary. So based on the name, I want to update the salary. So let me give the salary. For example, I want to give 50,000 as a salary. So now let's send the request. Now let's send the request. Now when we hit the cursor, it will send the request and it will update the things. No employee details found. Why it is saying no employee details found? Let me go here. Let me go here, update employee. It is calling the update EMP, open implementation. So now here, so we are passing the employee name. Okay, retrieve employee dot get name. We are passing the name, and once we pass the name, the employee name will be having the name, right? So it should get it. Okay, no employee details found. I'm just saying. Let me check why it is not say why it is saying no employee details found. No employee details found. Correct, we are passing it. Let me check the endpoint first. So it is coming. There is no problem with the endpoint. Let me debug this one. Here in service simple, like I have added the employee services dot, like, after adding the, after saving the employee details, in I should have added the, throws in the else block. What it is, I have directly added over here. So it is after completing this statement is directly coming to the next statement and it is trying to execute that one. Then there we are getting the exception. Otherwise, there is no issue with the code. Okay. So that's it. Let me run this application once again. Let's send the request. So we should get the updated response. So we are getting the employee ID is 1, NSK, and the salary. Okay. So either you can use employee name or you can use the IDE. Okay. That's it. So if you want to delete anything, we have to use one more method. So I'll give it to you as a, assignment for the delete. Okay. So I hope you people will do it. If you're not, we will see in the next session. Okay. Thank you for watching.